Well, hello again. What do you say we finish up this first headlight bucket? Strangely, some of the, I guess this was, looks like iron oxide primer they had under there. And that paint stripper would not take it all off. It will not take it off of this. It will not take it off of this. And there's several spots like this right here. I've wire brushed them. I've done everything except sand them, and I'm not going to sand them. It's not that big a deal. But all of this is behind the headlights, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, look at right here. It would not take that off. I've wire brushed it with this wire brush and everything. It just will not budge. Next, I want to paint it in white. Just regular satin white and primer mixed together in the same can. I like this stuff a lot. It says paint and primer all in one. And that's so that when I spray it with Wimbledon white, it'll be easier to cover. No, I don't have to put it on thick, just enough to cover up the gray. Alright, all nice and dry. After baking for an hour and a half in the Arkansas sun, the Wimbledon white will be painted on in the garage. We're getting ready to put on the old Wimbledon white here, and I've been asked by more than one person. I'm kind of surprised that this has happened. They wanted to know how I get such a good finish from a spray can. Well, it's just the same as any other, you know, air injecting type of thing, you know, a spray gun, spray can. But the trick is something I learned a long time ago. It's not really a trick. It's been told to me ever since I can remember, and that is keep your spray can about 6 inches away when you do your spray. Take your time, and 3 light coats are better than 1 heavy coat. That's all you got to know. It's a piece of cake. Shake your can good. Use a quality paint. You buy some cheap $1 paint, you know, at Walmart or some flea market somewhere, you're going to get a lousy job. And sometimes you get a lousy job anyway. You know, some of it's luck. I got to tell you, some of it's luck. But lately I've had some pretty good luck. It's just a matter of taking your time. You know, you don't go choo 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 choo. A lot of guys go choo 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 choo. You know, take your can and go choo choo. Light coat. Let it dry for a few seconds, you know, maybe 30 seconds. Makes it tacky. Put on your next coat, same thing, and the next coat. Sometimes you can get by with just 2 coats, but, you know, something like this is where the rain and the ice and the snow and everything is hitting it. If you're driving through it, you know, it has to be a little tougher, okay? One more thing. If you're spraying inside with a good quality paint, which is what this is, wear one of those filtered masks like I have on right now. See if I can get you in the camera, let you see what it looks like. I don't know, I don't have a selfie type of camera, but maybe you can. It's one of these. Make sure you don't breathe this crap in, because the more, you know, the quality paint has some really heavy, you know, chemicals in it. Now I've got this thing sitting on 2 boards. One board to hold the second board, and the second board is to, you know, so I can turn it around. I don't have to worry about turning this around and putting any deep scratches on the back side. Okay, I went to a lot of trouble to make sure that side was pretty good. So we'll just take it a bit at a time here. Well, that's it. End of first coat. I'll give it about 3 to 5 minutes to get tacky. I'll touch an area over here to see how tacky it is. Sometimes, depending on the paint, it actually dries up on you, but it doesn't matter. 3 light coats. I might be able to get away with 2, but I'll probably have to use 3. That's all there is to it. Don't overdo it. You're trying to do it all in one coat, and the paint just runs and it looks terrible. But a quality paint has a lot to do with it. Well, it's been a couple of days, and we're getting to the point where we need to start wrapping this video up. These have all been cleaned and sprayed with brake cleaner. And this side here in particular, because that's the side that faces the rear. So, and I soaked all these and took all the paint off of them that hold these things in. These were soaked in that Evapor-Rust, so we're good to go on that. So what we're going to do is just going to set these babies in here like this. And put the screws in. Now I'll let you see what it looks like when we're done. Well, there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of them. And this is what it looks like from the other side. Looks pretty fancy Dan in there now, doesn't it? Nothing's loose and wobbling around. All nice and tight. Looks pretty good. Alright, now what I have to do is I have to protect these pieces of metal right here that were really, really rusty when I took them off this one here. This is the one that those things were really rusty on. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this. I cleaned them up and sprayed them with brake cleaner. So what I'm going to do now is just hit them with some satin clear, a couple of coats. Now all it takes is a quick shot. Like that. Like that. Then hit this one here. There's no rust on this stuff, no grease or anything. That's all you got to do. Now I'm going to let that dry probably overnight. It's satin, and it won't be seen anyway. And I'm going to try to keep the spray down around base as you can. And if you get some of the threads, don't worry about it. It won't really bother it that much. These are your adjustment screws for your headlights. Okay, let me see. I think the last thing on the agenda here is a gasket. Yes, I need to start on this one and do to this one what I did to that one. So I'm not really looking forward to that, but it's got to be done. There is a gasket right where the fender meets this thing. And as you can see, this one's hard as a rock and broken up in pieces and everything. This one here is missing. And I checked with different vendors and I can't find that gasket anywhere. So I got a hold of Nick out in Colorado, Vintage Thunderbird Repair, and I said, I can't find these things anywhere. What do you use in place of them? There must be some kind of a gasket you've found over the years. You know, he's been at this stuff for what, 45 years. So he said he might have some. If not, I'm sure he'll get back with me about what I could use. So when I find out what that is, I'll let everybody know who has Thunderbirds, because you got to have this. This seals between the headlight bucket and the fender. In order to work on the this one here, which is the one is original to the car, you'll notice it's white on the back, whereas the other one was undercoating. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to strip all this paint off of here. I'm just going to give it a very good scrub, eliminate any rust it might have. There is a small spot right there. That's about it. It's the only rust I can see. And then once I get it all scrubbed, I think I'll go ahead and prime it, spray with black paint with primer, and then undercoat it. And that'll be good enough for that. I think it'll work fine. Now the inside I do plan to strip. At least I think I better. I'm going to go ahead and strip. There's a lot of cracked paint and stuff like that everywhere. Pretty well messed up. This is the eyelet. I don't know if I've covered that with you yet, but that thing is really solid now. I may have to grind it off on the bottom a little bit, because the eyebrow chrome only covers so much. That's why it's just it's not very big here. The eyebrow will only cover so much, and I don't want to have a bunch of it like sticking out below the eyebrow. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll take care of that later. Right now, let's go ahead and take out this one clip, and then we'll call it quits for the day. What did I do with my pliers? There we go. We got this one clip right here. Still in here. This is the old one that's loose. Just wiggling around like crazy. What you got to do is squeeze it, and it should drop right out. But it takes 2 hands. You got to be very careful. Let me get that done. Well, that's all she wrote. She's out now, but you got to be very careful. Remember, this is pot metal. This stuff is very, very brittle. Until next time, this is John.